I hope you made it through Thanksgiving okay. It's been a couple weeks, and I know the holidays were probably pretty difficult for you, but here we are, full swing into the Christmas season. There's not a big break between Thanksgiving and Christmas this year, which kind of stinks. We just don't have time to get our bearings from one holiday, and we're thrown into the busyness of the next holiday. So on this video, I'm going to talk about some of the questions that I see in some of the groups that I'm in. And one of them is that people don't know if they should decorate or what they don't feel like decorating. They want to decorate, but they're kind of afraid of all the memories it's going to bring up. So my only suggestion is do whatever you're comfortable with. I can tell you some things and some changes I made to decorating for the holidays, for Christmas, that has kind of evolved over the years. So when we had children, we have all these ornaments and things that the kids make us, and ornaments with their pictures and things like that. And the first year that you try to have a normal Christmas, or you think, I can do this, I can decorate, and you open a box and you see the handmade ornaments and the ornaments with the first grade picture and the fifth grade picture and things like that, things they made in Sunday school. And it's just really, really difficult to deal with that. So what I did was, I think the first or second year I separated those and just put them in a box, and then I felt bad because I'm like putting pictures of my children when they were little, I'm putting those in a box, and I feel terrible about it. So the following years what I did was in a spare bedroom, I set up a little Christmas tree, and I just put all the ornaments on that little Christmas tree. So I felt like I was kind of honoring their memory and not leaving them sitting in a box, because, you know, even though our situation with our kids is terrible and they've hurt us terribly, we had good memories of those holidays when they were little. So I always felt like it was honoring those memories for me to have that little tree up. Now, the last couple of years, we have moved due to some military movement, and I just haven't felt like doing it. I had my regular tree up, and I haven't felt like putting that particular tree up, or even getting those ornaments out, which is probably a big step, because even though I choose to do that, it's still difficult to do it even if it's in the other room. I know it's there, I know it's in there when I go in there. So the last couple of years I haven't even done that. Now, there are some things that I might get out. There was a preschool angel one of my sons made out of a toilet paper roll that's adorable. It's a tree topper. And one of our best friends, who their son went to preschool with my son, she has the same one. She puts it on their tree every year. And I might put that on a little tree somewhere around the house. And of course, we have drawings and things. One of my sons made this when he was younger, and I usually put that on the fridge because I really like it, and I think it's adorable, and it doesn't bother me to do that. So I would suggest you do what you're comfortable with, and that you pay attention to where you put things, so it's not a constant reminder of what is missing, but you can still have it in a, you know, kind of in a segregated area. If you want to look at it and you want to enjoy it, you can go in there. The other question that I see is people ask, should I send gifts? That's up to you whether you want to. It's not a should I. There's no right or wrong thing. I don't feel there is a right or wrong thing. If you want to send gifts, send gifts. Just don't have any expectation at all that those are going to be acknowledged or appreciated, and they might be thrown away and they might be given away. So I wouldn't send anything super valuable. I've sent some things in the past, no acknowledgement that they were received, but they were just little things like a ornament of a video game they used to play, or I'm not exactly sure because it's been so long. But I don't really do that. I mean, I might do it through the year, send something that I find in the house that belongs to them or something like that. So it's up to you whether you want to send gifts. Um, I I just want you to lower your expectations, because if it's going to hurt you to send the gift and not have that acknowledged, then I don't recommend sending it. If you know and you're prepared to send the gift and for it not to be acknowledged, and it doesn't, you're like, I've accepted that's the way things are going to be, that's probably what's going to happen, then I would say, well, go ahead and send it. Because a lot of, around the holidays, especially as you get older, a lot of the joy of the holidays is giving. And if you want to do that, as long as you can manage your expectations. And by managing, I mean you don't have any, or you expect for there to be no recognition. If it comes, it comes, but I would not send anything with an expectation that that's even going to be acknowledged. I hope in the video that I made last month, I talked about the bucket list. I'm hoping that you have worked on a bucket list so that you're done with that by the new year, and you can start doing some of those things and planning to do some of those things. So I'm hoping you're doing that and taking that really, really serious. That's really important. The other thing I want you to do is start thinking about the holidays, the actual Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, what that's going to look like for you. I do have in my next video, we're going to talk about that a little bit, because there are a lot of complications with family and family maybe being involved in the estrangement. So start thinking about what you're going to do with those specific days coming up, and where you want to go, if you want to go out of town, things like that, or if you want to go to a family event and there is a potential for a problem. We're going to talk about that in the next video, what you should kind of do there, or anticipate, or maybe avoid, and things like that. I also want you to look for, if it wasn't, and I'm not trying to preach to people, I can just say through all my struggles in life, if it wasn't for the church and for me having Christian friends to help me and pray for me, I find it really difficult to cope with everything happening. So my hope is that you do have a church. This is a time of year when a lot of people who don't normally go to church go to church. So I want to encourage you, if you don't normally go to church, start asking around, looking around. The church's focus at Christmas is on Christ. And a lot of times we need to get the focus off of ourselves onto someone else, something else, so that we're not so caught up in our own turmoil. So I want to encourage you to find a church to go to, even if it's like for a Christmas program or a play or something like that. And that's not really in your comfort zone. I want you to kind of step out of that and go. If you have a friend who goes to church, you're maybe not the best of friends or anything, just ask them if you can go with them. Go by yourself. Really doesn't matter. Just it will take the focus off of what is going on with you. And I also want to encourage you to look for opportunities to volunteer. If there are any opportunities to volunteer in your city or your town, you can actively look for something like that on your city's Facebook page, Chamber of Commerce. You have a big local church. You can look for an opportunity where you can actually make a difference in someone's life who is lonely and struggling just like we struggle this time of year. I want to read a quote to you from Charles Dickens, who wrote Christmas Carols, one of my favorite authors. No one is useless in this world who lightens the burdens of others. So if you can find opportunities over the next few weeks to lighten the burden of other people and help someone out, a shut-in, a widow, I want to really encourage you to do that, because this is just a really rough time of year for so many people. Well, I have to say, one of the reasons it's so rough, and I just mentioned this in another video, is because the expectations are so high that we put on ourselves, that we put on other people, that it must be perfect. Things must be perfect, and I must have joy, and you can have joy. It doesn't necessarily mean you'll have happiness, or that things will magically be like they were, and it's not going to be a struggle for you, but you can get through this. And we're going to try to do some things and talk about some things that'll help you get through this. I want to encourage you also to pray. Don't feel like it's selfish to pray for yourself and your pain and your hurt, and to ask God to help you with that. He is in the business of mending broken hearts. He is in the business of restoration. He really cares for us. And, I hear a lot of people say, well, if he cares for me, how is this happening? Why is this happening? Well, because God cares for us doesn't mean that bad things won't happen to us. It means that he'll be there with us through those bad things. Life is tough, and I know as you've gotten older, you've realized life is really tough, and it's about loss and pain and moments of joy and happiness worked in there. And so I want to encourage you to ask God to help you and to give you rest and peace, and to help you focus on what the season is really about. And instead of focusing on what you've lost or you're losing, kind of focus on what you actually have, or what the future is going to bring, and some things you can do to help you get through this thing. There is no magical answer. There is no cure. There's no, if you do this, this is going to happen. It's just a very tough situation. And we recently had several friends who lost their husbands' fathers unexpectedly, and it's right around this season. And this season doesn't look anything like what they thought it was going to look like. I mean, these were shocking, sudden deaths. And this is going to be their first Christmas without dad, husband, son, and they are reeling. And without their faith, I just think it would be very difficult. So again, I want to encourage you to pray for your children, pray for your grandchildren, and don't feel selfish for praying for yourself, and for God to help you and help mend your heart as much as possible. Also, don't be afraid to do something different. If you have a neighbor that's having a bonfire or neighborhood Christmas party or something like that, don't be afraid to go if you want to go. Don't feel bad about doing something that you enjoy or having a good time, because things don't look like what they should look like, what you think they should look like, what you thought things would look like in your life at this stage of your life. Because again, that's that hope deferred, and we're trying to imagine something that isn't, and that makes things much harder. So I want to encourage right thinking about what is going on. And I know it's not ideal. I don't have a quick fix. I don't have all the answers. I can only share with you some things that have gotten me through, some things I know that have gotten other people through, and just pray for the Lord's help. Don't be afraid to confide in, to ask for help from people who are not problematic, who are not causing problems in the family relationships. You want to find safe people, and I think that's one of the books I recommended a couple weeks ago. Make sure that whoever you're confiding to or leaning on is a safe person. So we're going to talk about that in the family dynamics of the holidays. And we're briefly going to touch on that and how you can respond if there are tensions and things like that in the next video. So I hope you tune in, and hopefully my remote control thing is working, but we'll see. It goes on, but it doesn't go off. So I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Again, it's not working.